Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. That's right. All the badass agents have returned to the channel, and one great ass, because Rick is here. How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We have in the house to join us to talk movies, Sir Vincent Lin. That's right. Thank you, brother, for returning back to hang out with the old samurai guy, and of course the master remaster. Frank Jang is here, and Kung Fu Santa himself. That's right, the original James Bond. That's right. Rick Meyers in the house. Oh yeah, we might have another special guest later. We'll see. Ooh, what do you got there? Let me blow that up there. So everybody can see clearly.
We got the book.
Oh yeah,
got the book.
That's a great book.
We have the unmade or undistributed Moonraker Roger Moore doll, which I got
my goodness.
a sample, but they never went into actual production with it. I got my 007 belt buckle. I have the Honor Majesty Secret Service watch from Swatch, which I bought the day before lockdown, and a bunch of my other James Bond stuff down here below. You can't quite see it. I've got the
Funko Pop there. That's right.
I got the DB5 under there.
Oh, look at that!
Look at that! Yeah,
I got all my Bond stuff, and also the jacket that MGM and Michelle Yeoh gave me.
And then so you should notice that the James Bond encyclopedia over here.
That's right, which you wrote, which Vincent wrote.
And here we go. The other one.
Oh, the
Bond on Bond.
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually,
how do you want to do this, Phat? I mean, do you want each of us to do a review, or should we just start yelling?
Start yelling.
Let me do the little quick plot synopsis here, and then of course we'll go into more detail, and then it'll be a free for all, and we'll talk about what we like, what we didn't like, and then we'll each, just for fun, we will rate the movie if you want at the end. Out of 5 stars, we will rate the movie. 3 is average here on the channel. But first, let me say what's up to the Movie Dojo Army showing up in the house. Ooey Tooby, that's right, certified badass member. Thanks for hanging out with us today. That's right. We got Jake Hall in the house. He's saying, hello, Phat Samurai Guy, Sir Vincent, Rick, and Movie Dojo Army. Oh, yeah, Kevin Lambert in the house, Marco G, DJ Anubis in the house, and Neenan. That's right. He says it's the best Craig Bond in his opinion. Look at that. Look at that. Rick face.
Wait a minute. I have to do my Frank booth.
Kevin here is giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Look at that. So everyone's already starting the ranking now, the rating. So this is fun. All right, No Time to Die, directed by Kari Joji Fukunaga. That's right. And plot synopsis: James Bond has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond into the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. And just what a great cast in this film. You got Rami Malek, Ana de Armas, stole part of the movie, and we'll get into that. Ralph Fiennes, Lashana Lynch, and all that good stuff. So I'll give you my little quick thoughts, and then it'll be a free-for-all smorgasbord right after that. So, before I did the trailer reaction with Rick and Vincent a while back, my original reaction to the trailer they posted way, way, way back, 10 years ago, that's what it felt like. I was concerned. I was like, well, I had issues with Spectre. Spectre kind of gave me blue balls. There was something, something was missing. It was a very well-made movie, but something was missing from it. And I was just like, come on, Spectre can't be the last one, man. This can't be the last Craig Bond, please. And so, the issues I had with Spectre, but it's a well-made film. But when I saw the trailer, I was just kind of concerned with Lynch's character here, because my concern was, because the way the trailer showed her, the first one was kind of like, hey, she's the hot, young badass that's perfect in every way, and she's going to show that old fogey. She's going to show that old fogey Bond what's up. He's old. It's time for the new breed, right? And I was just like, I hate characters like that. It's annoying when they're kind of forced on you. To my delight, that did not happen in this movie. I actually really enjoyed her character with Bond. I actually really enjoyed it. And, her taking on the 007 mantra name, the number, in the context of the story, it makes sense. And to be honest, I actually was very surprised she gave it back to him towards the end of the movie. I'm actually surprised that even happened. They didn't have to do that. But I was surprised she did that. She gave it back to him. But I enjoyed their playful banter where it was kind of like a friendly competition back and forth between them. And I was like, you know what? This character's growing on me. The character wasn't what I thought the trailer was making her out to be. And I thought she was fun. But the real, scene stealer was Anna, man.
Yeah.
Bad, charming, badass, great cinematography. That's right, great cinematography here.
Great cinematography on that girl.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was she was such a fun character. Like I was only trained for 3 weeks.
Frank,
Let's go.
Frank and I have already discussed this. She should have her own series without question.
I have no complaints. No complaints with this.
If they fumble that ball, they are much more stupid than I thought they were.
But yeah, no complaints. I was like, when she went away, I was like, oh no.
I know,
come
right?
back.
I know.
It's
No,
I know.
don't go away.
Don't go away. She need more training.
Yeah, that was strange. You just kind of tossed her to the wind. She I thought she would come back or something.
Yeah,
at least.
Yes.
Yeah, at least at the end or something. But
I bet.
Like, no,
well,
don't go away.
I will explain that.
Okay.
Eventually, I will explain.
All right. All right. So again, for those of you that are just chiming in, this is spoilers. So we're going all out here. Spoiler talk, everything. So just warning you guys. Okay. I really enjoyed this film. I don't think it's better than Casino Royale, but it was entertaining enough, and it scratched the itch. Action stunts, great.
Yeah.
The staircase shootout, phenomenal. I love the action shootout in the forest. I was like, this is great stuff here, man. Like really great action and stunt work. I was really, especially the opening when they go to visit Vesper's grave. And it's just really, really great, phenomenal action and stunt work in the film. I really enjoyed it. And, I know the ending is controversial, which we'll get into. It didn't bother me, though. It didn't bother me because this is not like, spoiler alert, they kill Bond at the end of the film. So it's not like they're killing the character forever. You know what I mean? So I understand if people have issues with them killing Bond. I get it. Nobody wants to see Bond die. Right?
Let me make this clear.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna jump ahead. They're not killing Bond. They killed Daniel Craig's Bond.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
This is a pocket universe. You'll notice that history started with Bond getting his 007.
Right.
It ends with his death.
Yeah.
Right.
They have made in a world of multiverses now,
Right.
where all the superhero stuff is multiverse. Why shouldn't Bond have a multiverse? And also, it also again proves the ongoing internet theory that James Bond is Doctor Who, that he's the doctor from Gallifrey, and he has this, or they give the 007 to whoever happens, and the name. So that's why I mentioned to you at the very end of the movie they have the legend James Bond will return. But I said they should have added not Daniel Craig's James Bond. But James Bond will return.
James Bond will return. Oh, not Daniel Craig.
Well,
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I think because obviously he had co-producing rights, you see throughout the 2 hours and 43 minutes how much control he really had. A hell of a lot. I feel just so many scenes. Boy, he controlled every scene. I don't know if he controlled that ending, but he probably did.
No, he wanted. That's why. Danny Boyle didn't direct this movie.
Oh,
because Craig was adamant that his Bond was going to die.
That's what I mean. He had control over saying that this is it. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
Ironically, the producers gave him all the power, and you can tell how good or bad the movie's going to be by how Craig felt while making it. He was in terrible agony during Spectre. He got a terrible wound at the beginning of that film. And he did not want to do that movie at that time, especially with that injury. So the whole movie is permeated with his dislike. However, this one he was totally in control of. And also that's why Anna did not come back. Because he was concerned that whenever she was on screen, he was wiped off it.
Wow.
And also you can see he gives some to some people, but two amazing ironies about this movie. Number one, they treated Craig the way Barbara Broccoli treated Craig the way her father should have treated Sean Connery, and did not. They did not make Sean Connery a creative input or a partner. They made Craig a partner, and he had control over his pocket universe.
Don't you think that, though, that has to do with time and the generation of when movies were made in the 60s?
Of course. However, and this is another great example of what happens when you don't trust your actor. And Sean Connery, of course, became an Oscar-winning actor. By the time they did, because ultimately they did give Sean Connery the power, but it was way too late by that time. And you know what the result was? Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, of course.
A movie that Sean Connery created to try to kill Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, Craig succeeded in killing his Bond. Connery tried to kill the whole concept of Bond with Diamonds Are Forever.
Right.
So again, irony, but also happily that opened the door for Roger Moore just to have fun.
Yeah.
He didn't have to worry about it because he wasn't the same kind of actor as Sean Connery.
Right.
But anyway, let's go on. Those were my two issues about coming back.
Right. No. Those are great points.
Yeah.
I do, as much as I really enjoyed this film, it really surprised me because I didn't know what we were going to get really. And if it satisfies me on the action and stunts, I'm kind of gonna root for it in that way. You guys know how I am. I'm sorry, but I mean, I thought the plot was solid. Daniel Craig didn't really phone it in as Bond. I thought he gave a lot of effort. I do have a few little nitpicks, and we'll go around, and you guys can talk about your positives and negatives as well. But these don't ruin the movie for me, but they're little nitpicks. I actually really liked the interrogation scene with Blofeld and Bond. This was great. Yeah. Just him coming down that little tunnel, right there. He was more threatening coming down that tunnel than his whole character in Spectre.
Exactly.
But I wanted some more Blofeld. Like as soon as he showed up, he was gone. I was like, oh no, these are nitpicks. These don't ruin the movie. But I wanted more Blofeld.
But they're consistent with Craig's approach. If you remember the flaw we talked about in Versus with Casino Royale, getting rid of Mads Mikkelsen, extremely wonderful Le Chiffre, for these nameless, faceless characters at the end, he does that throughout this whole movie. Yeah. Rather than deal with Vesper, rather than deal with Tracy Bond, rather than deal with Blofeld, he brings in these new people.
Yeah, it's as if
floundering around to figure out what kind of villain he is.
Yeah, it's as if
all these. My next nitpick, but go ahead, Vincent.
I was going to say all these characters we've grown up on for how many years now, right? Especially Blofeld, right? Who's head of Spectre. It's as if Craig just wanted to kill off all these things, kill himself off, kill Blofeld off, leaving whatever happens next.
Felix?
Felix? Goodness gracious.
He died. You only died twice.
A completely brand new plate, or slate, I should say. How they, I don't know where they're going to go from here, but God help them.
Now they can go anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. They can.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
actually brilliant.
Yeah. They can.
But yeah, that was my other minor nitpick was what you call what's his name? Rami
Malek.
Performed well. His acting was very well done. It's just the character seemed like he was barely in the movie. It was like his plans were more threatening and more important than him, really.
Well, the big change he makes from getting revenge to suddenly going, "Oh, I'm going to turn into Thanos. I'm just going to do some Thanos. I don't know why. I just am." They didn't give him anything to work with. I mean, he's an Oscar-winning actor again, but they gave him nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment was he was not related to Dr. No. That was really my
that was absolutely. But again, I think maybe behind this, I think originally he was supposed to be, and I think Craig went, I don't want to kill Dr. No. I want to kill everybody else, but I don't want to kill Dr. No.
Well, interesting, that whole scene reminded me of Dr. No. you know, with all the people dressed up in the, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was all Dr. No. I mean,
yeah.
The
island, the island is set up is all Dr. No. And I mean, like, you know, I read an article about how come James Bond can never have a Chinese villain because of how they don't want to piss off China and all that stuff. See, if I'll tell you this, I like before I watched the movie, I always thought Malik would be Dr. No. How cool would it be had they have someone like Tony Leung, you know, Wen Wu, someone of that caliber, okay, someone of that caliber, playing the descendant of Dr. No in this film, and that this whole island was, you know, his father was Dr. No, so now he's back to take some kind of a same kind of revenge or what have you, world domination, what have you. I mean, just some kind of a lineage or relation to Dr. No. How cool would that be?
I swear, Frank, that was the plan.
Wow.
That was the plan, but it was changed in the process from Danny Boyle to Carey. And once Danny Boyle was out, Danny Boyle could have had power over Craig.
Yeah.
Present director doesn't.
Right.
He does a wonderful job working with Craig, but he can't overrule him.
Gotcha. Another fun little positives was, I'm sure I missed a lot of them. Vincent, I'm pretty sure Vincent probably picked up all of them, but there was all these little Easter eggs for Bond fans in the movie, like, you know,
an enormous
this
amount.
music score. You know, we have all the time in the world.
Yeah,
you know, when I first heard the music in the beginning when they were driving, I was like, we have all the time in the world right there.
Well, not only did they use
the M paintings.
Not only did they use that, but they used John Barry's score from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, kind of subtly placed in many other places. That was really a wonderful thing.
There's a reason this movie is as long as it is. Because if you go back and watch it a second time, the first 55 minutes is an homage to Connery and Moore. The second 55 minutes is an homage to Dalton and Brosnan.
Yeah.
The last 55 minutes is a send-off for Daniel Craig and an incredible homage to George Lazenby.
Yeah, I was amazed. I saw more of On Her Majesty's Secret Service in that film than any other. You talked about the image of Judi Dench, but do any of you know who the image was to the left?
Bernard Lee.
He was the other M, right?
Yeah.
The other M.
I thought it was Admiral Hargreaves. It was
no.
No.
That was Bernard Lee.
Bernard Lee, yeah.
Oh, Bernard Lee.
Original M.
See, and then like when that music first came on at the very first scene, first shot, like Rick and I talked about it before we came on. Like I immediately, oh no, that music tells me someone's gonna die in this film. It's preparing, like Rick said, it's preparing you for the eventual ending that we're gonna lose someone, because On Her Majesty's Secret Service we lost, you know, his wife.
Tracy Bond.
Tracy Bond, yes.
Diana Rigg. Yeah.
We got a super chat here. What's up, Flicks? He says, Craig was a fantastic Bond. It was a great end. I'm ready to see who and what they do with the character next. Keep up the great work, fellas. Well, thank you. Thank you, Derek. You're the man. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Rick.
If for whatever problems I may have had with this movie, I've been waiting all my James Bond loving life to see them do On Her Majesty's Secret Service correctly. I was waiting for that. I was also waiting for them to do Quantum of Solace correctly. Again, he loses a great love in both of those movies, and they completely fumble the sequel. They completely drop the ball. This one does not drop the ball. But what's awesome is that when it happens to Craig at the end of this, I go, well, that's just. I'm glad you took the bullet. I'm glad you took one for the team, Daniel, because you deserve to take one for the team after what you did to Spectre and Quantum of Solace.
And then we talk, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we talk about how this is kind of similar to Last Jedi. I mean, not Last Jedi, Rise of the Skywalker. I mean, like FJ and Well,
it's also very similar to Last Jedi in that the fans are going to be polarized about it.
Yep. Yes.
I've seen a lot of people who hate on this one.
Right.
I see a lot of people who love on this one. But I also see a lot of people who like the beginning, and I also more than the ending. And I see a lot of people who like the ending.
I think if you invested yourself into the relationship of Bond, Craig, the character, from the very beginning, from Casino Royale, to his relationship with Vesper, and then onwards, his issue with, in Skyfall and Spectre, you will like this film. You will like the outcome of the film. You will like the story. If you have not emotionally or invested in the character and just like, I'm just going to go see this as a Bond film, you probably won't like it as much as someone who has kind of just follow Craig's development of the character from the very beginning.
Yeah, the other thing that was super important to me is that they took the time to make the movie that they made. And also, as a creative person, Vincent, myself, all of us are creative people. Just imagine what it would be like for you as a person who's either writing or directing No Time to Die, which I, of course, call now No, Time to Die. It's No Time to Die. Anyway, imagine if you were given, when I did my first book for The Destroyer, it was being written by partners. And Warren Murphy told me that he writes the last 95 pages of the book while his partner, Richard Sapir, wrote the first 95 pages of the book. So he described it as he was given a bowl of spaghetti, and his job was to tie the ends together. Now, imagine you're given Spectre. Imagine you're given everything that has preceded. The thing that was really astonishing to me as a writer in this movie is they took all the crap that Craig has built up over the last 3 movies, and especially the crap of Spectre, the nonsense of Blofeld being his brother and, being the architect of all his pain. This is all terrible ideas. But not only did they take it and run with it, but they not only took all of Craig's peccadillos, but they leaned into Craig's peccadillos. They doubled down on Craig's peccadillos. They let him have the power. They trusted him. And they resulted in a movie that is my favorite since Casino Royale. It's not a great movie. It is flawed. I don't think, can any of us disagree that it's a mess? At times, it's really a mess. I mean, they're just throwing stuff at the walls.
I still think the first 55 minutes, like first hour, was the best part.
But that was the Connery homage, so it would be the best part.
Well, as we know, it's certainly the longest Bond, right? I think, and the next longest is the On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am hoping they put out a monstrous cut of this for the Blu-ray. I want to get this Blu-ray so bad, and I want to have all the
5-hour cut.
5-hour version.
cut.
Well, I don't know if this is, but it seemed like that the opening sequence, which I really loved, was also the longest.
Yeah.
It just seemed to go on for like 30 minutes before the credits came on.
Yeah.
Yes. Until the train station. Yes.
Yeah, and then of course, I love the opening and the damn song.
It's
and being a Grammy artist, composer, when I heard that song, I swear the song was over, I was actually trying to see if I could remember the melody. Couldn't remember it at all.
Yeah.
And terrible song.
When I rewatch, no, good point, Vincent. When I rewatched Spectre the other night, and I was just like,
man,
this is one of the worst. The Sam Smith song is one of the worst, bland, boring, forgettable Bond songs I've ever heard. And this one, this is how much I like the Sam Smith song, right? The Billie Eilish song is like,
well, it's no wonder they ended it with the most famous and best songs of all Bond films.
Yeah.
And of course, Casino Royale and Skyfall had great themes.
Yes.
Yeah. That was
my favorite.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not, it's not Madonna's Die Another Day. So you could have worse, right?
But I was happy to see all the throwbacks. You call them Easter eggs.
Yeah.
That was very nice tie-in. Yeah.
Really I love the Casino Royale throwback. Remember in Casino Royale when Felix came up to went up to Bond and said, a brother from Langley.
Yeah.
And then when he killed that double agent, he said, I had a brother. His name was Felix. I mean, it was like perfect. That line was just perfect.
Yeah.
Frank, were you stunned when they killed him off in the movie?
Yes.
Or you
yes,
kind
I
of
was very
expected it?
sad. I thought Jeffrey Wright was a fantastic Felix. I really, really like him a lot.
I made it clear to Frank, however, that Felix never lasts long. Certainly not by the same actor.
That's true. Yeah.
That was the joke I made earlier. Felix Leiter only dies twice in the Bond movies. He also got killed in what was it, License to Kill?
License to Kill.
Well, no, he didn't die.
No, he didn't get killed. He got his legs got mangled. But...
In the book, he got killed.
Okay.
Live and Let Die. He disagreed with something that ate him, as Mr. Big wrote on a note to James Bond.
Yeah, no, I thought Jeffrey Wright's wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, Rick, I was satisfied with the action. Were you satisfied?
That was my next question. Specifically, the action was awesome, except the only real fight I remember, and I could be blanking,
was the woman.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Craig fight the way he did in Casino Royale at any time, especially on the stairs?
No way. I still feel very disappointed in, because if you, again in the book you can see me talking about the excellent hand-to-hand work in GoldenEye and in Casino Royale, and then Bond degenerates into a totally terrible fighter by the time of Spectre. In Spectre, the fight on the train with Hanks was ludicrous. Yeah.
I mean, roundhouse punches and overhand knife throws. It's like, where was the Bond of Casino Royale?
I was so bored. I was so bored watching that movie that I was like, "Yay, something's happening in the train fight."
It's interesting you talk about the Anna character, right?
Yeah.
Because at the moment she comes on, her first 2 seconds, that's where your eyes are. Your eyes are not on Daniel Craig.
Yep.
Most of the scenes with Craig, you're always focusing on him, but the moment she's there, it's all her. Every scene is you're only looking
who's
at
that?
her.
Who's that in the photo next to her? Who is that guy?
Oh, you mean the bartender? Anyway,
I think that's also the difference with Connery, because no matter who Connery was next to, you're always focusing on Connery. A much different persona. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
The rumor was that the new 007, who gave back the 007 to Bond, the new 007 and Anna were going to team up at the end to try to rescue Bond.
What?
Didn't happen. Would have made sense had it happened.
Could have made, yeah.
They could have, and they would have failed. They would have failed to reach him in time, but they would have tried.
Yeah.
But I think he wisely said, "No, these two will wipe me off the screen. I've got to stay concentrated.
I'll stick with one. I'll just stick with one for now.
Yeah.
You got to concentrate on me."
Yeah.
Even the homage to past films and probably to future, their use of the Aston Martin. Yeah. Of course, they really focused on the DB5, which was first introduced in Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, yeah.
And then they also used the Aston Martin Vantage, which is the V8 that Dalton used in the first film. Yeah.
They gave face to everybody.
Yeah.
Of the previous Bonds, and Bernard Lee as well. Did they? By the way, I didn't see any homages to Q, specifically Desmond Llewellyn's Q.
No.
Did you guys pick up anything on that?
No, not to that Q.
The next time I watch it, I'll look carefully at Q.
I'm amazed they didn't kill him off too.
Although I find it interesting that they kind of slyly reference the fact that this Q is gay. With the music.
Yeah.
Like he was listening to Yuma Sumac, which is kind of like a lot of gay people would like that singer, like her style. And then of course he said, he is coming in like 10 minutes, not she.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
It's important. It's integral to the plot, Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, it's important. Come on.
You might have missed it, but they even showed when they were in the plane. I believe it was in the plane. Maybe I can't remember, but they also showed the new electric supercar by Aston.
Right.
It was never used. But that's the new supercar by Aston Martin.
I did not see that. You mean the plane with the stealth fighter? The stealth plane?
Yeah. It was. I believe it was white. Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
It was parked there, but that's not so much an homage as it as it is product placement.
Of course, it's product. Yeah.
The theater that I went to last night, they have an actual bike that in the film, the bike that he rode in the opening sequence. They have an actual bike, a model of the bike in the lobby.
How cool is that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to post pictures on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was it wearing a mask, though? Was it wearing a mask?
Yeah, there wasn't any Q homages, but at least compared to the other Craig Bonds, like at least Spectre and stuff, at least this one, we kind of went back to the gadgets a little bit, which was fun.
Well,
that was fun,
and a few one-liners from the Roger Moore era.
Yes,
blew his mind, right? Didn't they say that blew his mind? Like,
yeah. So they kind of incorporated everything.
Yeah. Ultimately, I didn't care. Like I said, it could have gone on longer for me because, as I mentioned this, we talked about this with Frank, and I think with Vincent as well. How you feel about Bond depends on where you start and how you see the movies. And as a person whose first adult movie in the movie theaters was Dr. No, and a person who saw up until recently every single one of the movies in the theater on opening night, this thing was made for me. This thing was like, just lie back in the ocean of Bond and float. And I loved everything about it. Even though I admit it's not as good as it could have been, but it couldn't have been better after Spectre.
Yeah,
right.
Because they had to deal with Spectre, and they did.
I do like how they kill all the Spectre people. I thought that was nice. That was good.
One of those guys is a friend. Can we see him? Can you see him, Vincent? Can you see Winston?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to call him today, but I will call him tomorrow. In this party scene where they're dancing and stuff, it's really quite interesting because they show this close up and they zoom in on Winston's face.
Yeah.
And Winston looks really handsome.
Yeah.
And he just looks really great in it. And they zoom in on his face and he's got this like wonderful smile. Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness. And they kind of hold on his face for a couple of seconds. It was like, he doesn't say anything, but it's like, it was there,
You know why this is Winston George Ellis.
Yeah.
Who's originally a friend of Vincent. Vincent introduced him to me. Yeah. He's now invited me to his home in London whenever I can go to London again. But he played the Spectre agent. He was taunting me years ago, like 2019, about being in this movie.
Yeah.
And the reason they did that close-up is that he looks like Idris Elba.
Yeah. In fact,
was he the guy?
I'm telling you,
holding the eyeball. Was he the guy holding the eyeball?
No. In the close-up, I'm sorry, he looks much more handsome than Idris Elba. Yeah.
But in any case, I already texted with him. He gave a close-up because every one of those agents had a Spectre ring.
Right.
They had a ring that, with the Spectre symbol on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And my first reaction was, did you get to keep it?
No.
Oh, not even a ring. Not even a prop ring.
Yeah.
But he was, So
it was interesting. I thought I was thinking about it before I sat down. I'm like, I'm wondering if I'm going to have to actually look for him, But no, it was like boom, and it took up half the screen. So it was great. Right. Yeah, great.
Did you guys still buy the love relationship?
Of course not. They did a great job selling it in this movie.
The Inspector, yes. I agree.
She's a stand-in for Tracy Bond, the way George Lazenby is a stand-in for Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's true.
She's a stand-in for Vesper too. The way they rushed the relationship in Spectre, suddenly make them a love match, and I loved him.
But they went further. It's his child.
Right. It's right, and that's also a great idea. I also love the callback to him visiting Tracy's grave at the beginning of Octopussy.
No, For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
I love that he goes back to Vesper's grave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a callback to that. But at least both of them were unleashed to play it as if they had done a decent job in Spectre.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. Yes.
I agree with that. Definitely.
But it's still unfortunately not convincing. But I'm happy to buy it just so they could make this awesome tribute and homage.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, they could have, I was thinking, maybe the sensitive side of me was thinking, okay, he's going to live and the family is going to be all happy and go off and that's it. But no.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
In any other movie at all, you have a character who's going to retire in 6 days and settle down with his wife and child. What's the big neon light that shows up in front of them?
Yeah, I know.
Dead meat, R.I.P.
I don't know if the movie was the exact same way and he lived and they lived happily ever after. I don't know if I would have liked that.
No, I would have hated it.
Yeah. That would have been like too sweet, sweet.
And Daniel Craig must pay for his transgression.
Yeah, it's true.
He made Quantum of Solace. He made Spectre.
No, he's got to pay for all the shit that he's done in his life.
Yes,
all the people he's killed. Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't mind. Like I told Rick, I know Rick disagreed with me. I wouldn't mind Quantum coming back. I just felt Quantum is actually a pretty good.
And I yelled at,
and especially all the women he sexually harassed.
Here we go, Frank.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna do the Frank now.
Oh,
but I said to Frank. What I said to Frank is, I said, "Fuck Quantum. Bring back Smersh. Bring back Smersh. You know who Smersh is, don't you, Vincent? They were the first villains of Bond before Spectre.
That was right. That was from Russia with Love.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bring back fucking Smersh.
Yeah.
Smersh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that from the book or from the actual movie?
No, it's from them. It's from both. Yeah.
From both. Okay.
Yeah. Smersh was an actual organization, and they very wisely said we should create a fictional one because we don't want real Smersh people mad at us.
Yeah.
But Smersh doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Smersh was wiped out with the end of the USSR.
I have to ask Rick this because Rick would know.
What's that?
Did Spectre influence Hydra?
Of course. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking about that. The creation of Hydra in comics.
But now Marvel is influencing Bond. But the Bond series have ever since Connery left, the Bond and also the books ran out, the Ian Fleming books ran out. Bond has just been wildly derivative. They'll just grab, Jason Bourne, blaxploitation films, kung fu films. They'll just borrow from anybody. So I forgive them all of their ripping. So, but thankfully, as Isaac Asimov told me, we all steal from the best. At least Bond is now borrowing from Marvel. And everybody should borrow from Marvel. Because they're the best in the business. You saw Shang-Chi. They're the best in the business.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
He won't see it.
See it, Frank. Frank. You're not Frank. Vincent. Yeah, you'll recognize a lot of the scenes. You may see an homage to you.
Well, there you go.
Look at that.
I might go see it then.
No, you definitely should see it. It's one of the movies that get better.
My homage today is to Connery and Dr.
That's right.
That's
right.
Hence the suits. Yes.
That's right. If they bring back the Smirch, they're going to have to change that name, man. That's not going to fly, bro.
It sounds like Smurf, man. That's what I thought you were saying.
I'm an agent of Smurf.
Too much like Smurf. You have children going to see the movie, man.
All right, my next big question is, what do you want them to do next?
It'll be a reboot again, of course.
Yeah, a reboot. That's a good question. You know what? I wouldn't mind them going back to the 60s, to be honest with you.
I would love that. I would really love that.
Like a Man from U.N.C.L.E. sort of thing. I would love to see that. Bond back in the 60s.
Let's not say Man from U.N.C.L.E. because they botched that one up too.
Okay. Right. No, but yeah, like I said, if they can do a Bond set in the 60s, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
My feeling is that as much as I would like that, I know that filmmakers do not want to do period pieces because they're, at least a quarter more expensive than the regular one. But what I would like them to do is return mentally to the original Bond.
Yeah.
And create. I've always wanted. That's why I thought Tom Hiddleston would be so awesome as an Ian Fleming Bond. A Bond who uses his wit and his smarts more than he does his fists. And by the way, I wanted to mention, I think it was in the very last James Bond book. I know it was in one of the James Bond books. Ian Fleming had this wonderful quote. It might have been in You Only Live Twice, he dies. in the book. But I think in the very last James Bond book, it says something. I'll get the quote while you guys continue to talk. For James Bond, life would always be on the pall, P-A-L-L. I didn't even know what that meant when I first read it, which meant that James Bond's life will always be dancing with shadows. So that's why he couldn't be happy and retire with Tracy or with Madeline or with or Matilda. So yeah, but that's right back to Ian Fleming. And I've never forgot that line because I read all the books before I saw the movie. And so yeah, you guys keep talking.
So Frank, if they return to the 60s, you still want it to be gritty, dark, violent, like the Craig era, but it just has 60s setting.
Yes, I don't want campy stuff. No, 60s with a dark twist. Yeah.
What do you think of that, Vincent? Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
60s setting.
I know you're an action lover, but it's like after a while it just becomes it's too much. Yeah, I mean, how can you keep? You can't keep upping it. It's just not real. I don't think it's really possible. It's kind of like the Hong Kong era of the golden age. It's very difficult. How can you really up that? They've tried it with a couple of things and it's worked, but really you can't really do it. So you got to go a different direction. So yeah, I agree with Frank. That period of the 60s espionage, but with maybe modern day, action fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't want anything campy. But
now with Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible, it's a no-win scenario. You can't beat these guys.
Yeah,
you have to go off and do another.
Exactly. Yeah.
I already pre-ordered Mission Impossible Fallout 4K Steelbook for Vincent.
All right,
Vincent, it's in the mail. It's coming your way, my friend.
Stranger, you're my tie.
Oh.
I've got 7 of the same suits and 7 of the same shirts and tie for each day of the week.
I also like. Oh, by the way, going back to the new film, I love Hans Zimmer's music.
Amazing.
Especially the part in the island. It sounded like Batman. There was moments where, oh, this is like Batman. That's great. Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Is an awesome synthesist. He often has a team working with him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And so you give him an homage like this one, he's perfect.
Yep.
So we're all for that. Let's go back to the 60s. Have that beautiful, fun setting, but still have the action be on point.
Right.
And not be too campy.
No,
I'm all for it. It looks like we're all for that. Before Rick says his comment,
I'm not quite for that. I wanted to say modern day, but I wanted to have that feeling. I wanted to be realistic.
Right.
Okay. All right. So he's still down with modern day.
Now, who would you want to be the Bond? Like we talk about Tom Hiddleston, but what about people like I was talking to some of my friends. They kept telling me they think Dan Stevens would be a good choice.
He would be a good choice.
From Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather have Dan Stevens than Tom Hiddleston.
Well, I think it's too late for Tom. Tom is set with Marvel for
the
future.
Yeah.
I want them to do for the next Bond what they did for Craig. I don't want it to be a name I know.
Exactly. I know that exactly. I told that guy, say, trust us. Find a nobody, announce it. And say, you know what? Don't give a shit. Trust us.
And I don't care who they get as Bond, as long as they give Anna a series.
Or make her a recurring character, just like Felix. Have her show up.
No, I want her own series. She's so good. And also, she's going to wipe anybody off the screen. She has to have her own series. I mean, they wanted to do that for Halle Berry, and Halle Berry isn't nearly the person. You can argue with the acting, but in terms of her energy and her persona, not even close to this girl.
Let me ask you, Rick. Do you think she was better than Michelle Yeoh in Tomorrow Never Dies?
Yes, for a very specific reason. Because they let her be. You know the story of Michelle Yeoh. I've told you. That's the one thing they didn't allow me to put in the book, which was Terry Hatcher was fired after 10 days, and they had to rewrite the movie on the fly to spotlight Michelle Yeoh. And as such, it was a nightmare shoot. I mean, nobody knew what was going to happen the next day. And both Brosnan and Terry lived up to it, and she was allowed to do the commercials for it. They allowed her to be the Bond girl, but she wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the same general things happens to Anna in this. I mean, they got rid of her, one scene and out, but they let her have that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't blunt her effect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was just looking at who Dan Stevens was. Yeah, he's already too old. He's 41 already. By the time the next Bond movie comes out, he'll be like 45.
Yeah.
So there's no where can he go? How many can he do?
Right. Similar with like Tom Hardy, like Tom Hardy too. Like people keep saying Tom Hardy would be great, but Tom Hardy's 43.
No.
He's too old already.
Tom Hardy looks like melted cheese at the moment.
Connery was 32 when he did Dr. No. They've got to find someone in their early 30s.
It would be very smart. It would be very smart for them. I mean, did you see the documentary, the free documentary on Apple TV I sent to you guys?
Yeah.
Interviews with Barbara Broccoli, and she talked about what made her so convinced that Daniel Craig was the guy over Henry Cavill. And if she keeps on going on that gut instinct, because she was absolutely right. He said, I could not take my eyes off. And that's what we need. We don't need what her father did with Lazenby.
Yeah.
Which was, we'll just get somebody. We'll get somebody who the secretaries like. No.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so
did you find your quote?
No.
I'm
going to look through it the next time we talk.
Next time.
Because he's not looking, he's talking.
Okay.
If you remember what he said, he says, I'll look for this while you guys continue talking.
And I'll looking for it, and all they gave me was the last line of the first book, not the last line of the last. Okay. And you know what the last line of the first book is, don't you?
Oh man.
They use it in the movie.
It's been a while. I can't remember. Dead. Oh yeah, the bitch is dead. That's right. Yeah.
The job is done. The job is done. The bitch is dead.
Yeah.
Well, before we give our rating each, do you guys agree at least, despite the movie's flaws, do you agree at least out of all the Bonds, everybody's got their favorite Bond, everybody's got their favorite Bond movie or era, but out of all of the Bonds, do you feel that Daniel Craig's era had the best last movie?
That's a great question.
That is the best last movie.
I'm going to say yes.
I agree.
Are we counting Sean Connery's Never Say Never Again as his last?
No.
Okay. I'm not sure.
No.
Okay. Not canon.
It's not canon.
So Diamonds Are Forever. Okay.
It's between Craig and Lazenby.
Well, yeah, one and only.
Lazenby had one film, so his last one was excellent.
I know. Okay.
I mean, I'm just amazed how well that movie still stands up. 50 years.
God, it's great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Except for him.
Except for him. The movie is great. Except for him,
yeah.
Okay, well, View to a Kill, let's throw that in the garbage.
Yeah, we can. That's a comedy.
That's a comedy. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, when Diamonds Are Forever, yeah.
You know what? I know I'm in the minority, but I really, really love License to Kill. I know I'm in the minority with that.
That was a good movie, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to argue against this.
What was Brosnan's last film?
Die Another Day.
Oof.
Yeah.
License to Kill was what, like the precursor to the Craig Bond movie.
Yeah.
Dark, gritty, and he's on a personal vendetta. There's no world domination,
If we're counting the best last of the, probably
just the best
is.
Last.
I mean, we can't really count on Her Majesty's Secret Service because there's only one film, but probably it is. Okay.
But even so, this one, I was going to say to Frank, but at least Craig didn't play the part as a constipated a-hole with a bug up his bum, which is what Dalton did. He was always about to throw a
How dare you, Rick?
Well, watch that movie. He's constantly ready to blow.
So
what never happened to the other fellow?
So where do we rank if you were going to? I think
you want to rank. You want to do your Craig rankings now? Let's do that before we rank the movie. Ahead. Let's have some fun with where we rank our Craig era. Frank, you go first. How do you rank your Craigs?
Rank the 5 movies from
just the 5.
Well, definitely right now still Casino Royale, definitely number 1. And like I said, I do like Quantum. I like how it continues the story right away. I know. I understand. Like I said, I love the Oscar scene.
Get him.
So, okay.
So, go on, Frank.
Okay.
I'll buy you some yum cha.
There we go. So Casino Royale definitely, and then I still have to say maybe Quantum second, but then Quantum, and to me, Quantum and Spectre kind of tie. I know, and I tell you that, like I said, I tell you the reason I don't like Skyfall, because he failed at every mission in that film. He couldn't save M. He couldn't retrieve that ship. I mean, to me, it was like that's not Bond. I want Bond to succeed. That's all. So to me. Okay. To me, Skyfall is still like the lowest, definitely the lowest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. All right. So if let me re-rank them.
Exactly.
Let me re-rank them.
All 3 of us go.
Okay. Number 1, Casino Royale. Number 2, No Time to Die. Okay. So number 3 and 4 kind of tie between Quantum and Spectre, and then Skyfall last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rick.
Oh, Rick. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy. Casino Royale. Skyfall. No. Casino Royale. No Time to Die. And Skyfall, Quantum of Solace, Spectre.
Okay, Vincent.
Casino Royale, Skyfall, No Time to Die. Quantum of Solace, Spectre.
Yeah. Okay, exact same list of Vincent.
Yeah.
Same list, same order. Yeah. Spectre, man. I was trying to. It's hard to stay awake watching that movie.
Yeah.
When the finale is Bond on a boat, just shooting a pistol at a helicopter, and it's so boring. That's just like, oh god.
I was like this throughout the whole movie.
All right. Anything else before we rate the movie?
It's rated.
Each. Anything else? Positives or negatives about? No. Time to Die.
One quick thing. I just still think the villain was kind of like a letdown. Not because of the acting. It's the characterization of it.
Oh, we all agree with that. That's
right. Yeah. I mean, like he's obsessed with this girl for 30 plus years. I mean, come on, like
even Rami agrees with that.
Someone's got a call.
What's phone?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Even Rami, what did you say, Rick? Even Rami what?
Even Rami Malek agrees with you. In fact, the villain was weak.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Okay.
All right. Time to rank it. Rate it. We already did our rankings. Frank, out of 5 stars, 3 being average, what do you give No Time to Die?
I would say a definite 4. Definite 4. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Vincent.
4.
All right. Rick. All right.
Are you allowed halves? 3.5?
Yes, you can do halves.
Oh, okay.
It's still 4.
I'll go for 4. Yeah.
Come on.
I might regret this. I might regret this later, but it's all good. It's all fun.
2.5. No.
I was. That's if FJ showed up.
I really want to see it again on IMAX.
Oh, I saw it in IMAX. You love it.
Yeah.
I
want to see it on IMAX.
I thought this character was going to ruin it for me. She grew on me at the end. Anna was great. And it was just like, the nitpicks are there. It's not perfect. And I said, I might regret this later, but I was so entertained. And I was so happy that this was such a better send-off than Spectre. And I was so happy that I wasn't falling asleep like I was watching Spectre. I'm going to regret this. I'm going 4.5 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing to regret.
I know.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Well,
I was so entertained by it.
The one thing I really had issues with the what was it? What's the actress's name? Not the which one?
Which one are you talking about?
The love interest?
The British black actress. Is she
Oh,
British?
no,
Lynch.
Latanya Lynch or something, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she from Britain?
She's from Britain. Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever did her wardrobe should be shot.
Daniel Craig did her wardrobe.
It's terrible. When she comes in with that kind of white bustier thing with the frills, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And it looked awful on her. I mean, it was terrible. I'm sorry. Her wardrobe was awful.
Don't apologize. Whenever the wardrobe is awful on a major character, something's going on behind the scene.
Oh, there's something. Well, obviously.
And the film just flew by. I mean, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, but like that. That's amazing.
I was reveling.
Didn't fly by quick enough because the last 30 minutes, man, I needed to go to the bathroom.
That's right. I was the same way.
Nowhere to go. No when to go to the bathroom.
I was doing the dance, man. I didn't want to leave the movie theater. I was doing the dance.
55 minutes you go to the bathroom.
The funny thing was, I think
if only I'd had a popcorn bucket. I mean, geez.
People at my screening, I think, was probably so affected by the fact that Craig Bond died in this movie.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were the only one left in the theater by the time the credits ends and says James Bond will return. It's like, don't you guys want to know whether he will return or not? You think this is the last Bond movie? You guys just left in the credits? I mean, I want to see the words James Bond will return, and I got my wish. And we're the only ones left in the theater.
Yeah. Next time, Vincent, don't do the popcorn bucket. Get the glass of Coke. Empty glass.
You mean a colostomy bag? No, I'm not doing that either.
I'm like, so we're set. We did it.
That's it.
We did it.
Yeah, that was fun.
One more thing. As much as I love seeing this in IMAX, I think as a 3D fan, I would probably see it again in 3D because this will it could be the first and only Bond film to be available in 3D.
Is it in 3D?
It's in 3D, yes.
Yeah, go to the Dolby one. The Dolby screen must be incredible.
Yeah, Dolby Atmos, yeah. But the 3D one I kind of want to check out.
I refuse to watch it in 3D.
Are you sure about that, Vincent?
Only if I can
have a room series.
Oh man! Well, this was a blast as always. Talking to the legends, having them on the show, talking movies, which is what we love doing. Yeah. That's right. Nobody does it better. Get the book. Get the book.
Get the book.
Frank's got the book. That's right. Thanks again, all of you awesome guests, for showing up again. Rick, me and Vince were talking earlier, maybe for fun, maybe next week or we'll pick a day where we come back again and do a whole ranking each. The whole Bond series.
From 1 to 25.
Yes, 1 to 25.
It'll be even better. I did a podcast with Vincent on the same subject, the action in James Bond movies.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you guys are down for that.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. Oh, and everyone say happy birthday to Todd.
Happy birthday,
Todd.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Todd. I clicked on the wrong comment.
Happy birthday to Todd.
You got an extra serenation from Rick there. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. You guys rock. Keep watching movies. Come back in 2 hours. Actually, 1 more hour. Sorry. Come back in an hour. Jan Lucanis is hanging out with Samurai Guy. We're going to talk movies and have fun. So 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Pacific. See you guys then. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Cheers. Bye.